y'all? Dr.Trehunna. So today what we're going to talk about is the absolute most important organ if you're somebody that's dealing with diabetes, hypertension, or any type of metabolic syndrome. And once again, if you're kind of overweight, you're dealing with some sort of metabolic syndrome because you're insulin resistant. The most important organ on the human body is actually your muscles. See what I'm saying? So every time you decide to move, your body actually has to get this energy from somewhere in order to provide the energy so you to go ahead and do this maneuver. So every single time that you actually move a muscle, your body has to basically use energy, right? The issue with Americans, or the issue with a lot of people nowadays, we're not moving as much, you know? And because we're more sedentary, we're just eating because, once again, we're taught to eat 3 to 5 times a day. We're giving our body way more energy than we actually use. And if you give your body way more energy than it use, your body's gonna store this energy for a rainy day. And it's gonna be called body fat, all right? Imagine your body like a car. What happens after you're filling up your gas tank and it's too full? It basically spills over, right? The same thing applies with your human body. So the spillover in this scenario happens to be body fat, but your body's not gonna immediately stop you, even though a lot of people eat, just to get full or for satiety. Some people just tend to naturally overeat, but it's not for the mere fact that you're doing anything wrong. It's the fact that majority of the foods that you're deciding to have is very caloric dense. A lot of processed foods. It's very easy for you to overeat 4 to 5 donuts. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you an analogy. Is it harder for you to eat 3 chicken breasts back to back, or 2 ribeyes back to back, or 5 donuts? If somebody put $1 million on the table and they said, I want you to eat one of these 3 options, which one would you pick? Everybody in their right state of mind is gonna pick the 5 donuts. Why? You can literally scarf down 5 donuts anytime you want to. Why? Because it don't have any nutrients inside of it. And when you're not giving your body any protein and fats, your body is not receiving any type of inkling that, hey, we're really actually eating, you know? But also another thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to is the calories that they're coming from drinks. A lot of people don't register in their head that, hey, when you're actually drinking something, especially if it's not the diet version or it's not just straight water, it got calories in it. If it got ingredients in it, it got calories in it. Okay? So from now on, if you see a 0-calorie drink, there's no such thing as a really 0-calorie drink. The Food and Drug Administration actually allow food companies to round down to the nearest 10. And a food nutritional label can actually be up to 20% raw. They allow it. So what does that mean? So for instance, let's say you're eating something that's under the perception that's only 100 calories. It can really be 120 calories. Now that 20 calories might not sound like a lot to you, but if you're ordering something from McDonald's, and let's say you're counting macros or whatever, and you eat a meal that's 1,000 calories, it could really be 1,200 calories. That could be the difference between somebody seeing the scale drop the very next day or they stall. And for some people, that could be the difference between somebody stalling and the scale going up. Just that 200 calories, you know? Now, if you're somebody like, look, Trey, I understand what you're saying. I really want to go ahead and lose weight, but based off my lifestyle, it prevents me or inhibits me to actually cook. Every single time that you do decide to have something more fun, processed foods at a restaurant, make sure you plan to work out the very next day. What the human body needs to do is once you're giving it outside carbohydrates, you need to use it. Because if you're not using it, it's gonna store it as fat. Simple as that. All right, majority of the fitness influencers or the people that you see online that looks good and they're having that oats and bananas and that almond butter and a smoothie and they're drinking it and you're like, okay, well this is healthy. I can do the exact same thing. The difference between you and them, they work out damn near 5 to 6 times a week. You're watching their lifestyle and you mimicking their lifestyle and you work out max once to twice a week. These little things add up, okay? And ironically, if you actually pay attention to the videos, they're actually having that shake, or they're having that oatmeal, or they're having that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, or they're having that McGriddle, and then they're going right to where? The gym. That is the main difference between people like us and people like you. And when I'm talking about us, I'm talking about regular civilians. You know, I'm not talking about these fitness influencers, because I'm a regular dude just like you, okay? So anytime that you're having a meal where you're having a little bit more fun, make sure this is either right after a workout that you're lifting weights. I'm not talking about cardio. You do not need extra carbs for cardio. okay? Lifting weights, because at the end of the day, that's an anaerobic exercise that's gonna burn through the glucose, okay? Your muscles are glucose sink, which means what? It can literally, all the glucose that's in your system, from the carbs that you had earlier, is gonna suck it all in. But what happens is when you're having that McDonald's meal, right? You're having them pancakes, you're having that McGriddle, and you sit on it, that's why you start to feel lethargic. Because all this glucose is just running rampant in your system, right? And that's why if you're somebody who actually got their blood test done and you get an HbA1c, what that basically means is you had so much glucose in your system that's now affecting your red blood cells. Because your cells are basically trying to prevent itself to either dying or it getting damaged. All right? So that's why what I want you to do is the days that you do decide to have some fun with what you're eating, make sure you work out. At least schedule a workout in the next 48 or 24 hours. Cool? Hopefully y'all learned something today. That's your reset tip of the day. It's going to be stay snatched all the time. Know in the summertime. Talk to you soon.